I'm having a very hard time believing that all the shallow trophy wives go through this. What's up everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to be taking you guys with me on my first ever solo trip. I just arrived in Naples and I'm going to be spending the upcoming week traveling all over southern Italy and the Amalfi coast. But before we start touring the city, I've heard that Naples is quite a dangerous city and apparently there are a lot of pocket pickers. So to have a good overview of my belongings, I have my backpack here. Ooh. And to not attract any extra attention, perfect. Naples mode.
Parli italiano?
No.
Ok, tutto ok? Che vedo ti sto vedendo da là.
So first off, I'm heading towards the Lapis Museum, which is like an underground thing. So I'm very interested to see how that goes. So the Lapis Museum was already fully booked out, so I decided to get a snack instead. But I'm now heading towards the Donna Regina Gallery, which is a contemporary art museum. And as you guys know, I love modern art, so I'm very interested to see and find out what they have. So overall, a very pleasant experience. That a couple of temporary exhibitions and one permanent one. As always, pretty ambiguous, but nice to walk through. I also got a chance to look at some churches on the way there, so I've already seen a fair share of the city. I can tell that the Catholic presence here is huge, which now thinking about it isn't too special for an Italian city, but it's very obvious here. So I'm now gonna walk around a bit more and then get some dinner. So I'm back at the Airbnb and I picked up some pizza. For those of you who don't know, pizza actually comes from Naples, so it was very self-explanatory for me that my dinner for this night was going to be pizza. Even though the air conditioning here is great, it is hot, so I don't really eat a lot of pizza, so I wanted to get it from a good place. I got it from Sorrento, which is quite known. I did some research, and apparently it's the best pizza there is. Wow, that does look quite promising. Big fail. This probably really is the best pizza I ever had. I'm calling it a day. So I just arrived in Pompeii. I took a morning train here. Yeah, I had a little main character moment there. My tour is gonna start in like 30 minutes, but first I'm gonna grab something to eat. So the tour has started, and this right here is Mount Vesuvius, which is the volcano that erupted and practically wiped out the city here. I have to say it's a bit hot, but I'm currently walking in what used to be a river of pee and shit, because that's how things worked here. And sometimes you have a couple of stones there, which allowed people to cross that river. So it seems like it was a very hygienic town. Apparently they also washed their laundry with pee, but only men's pee, because women's pee wasn't good enough back then, of course. Generally very interesting to learn how extremely innovative the Roman Empire was. They have a lot of marble artworks, which are absolutely amazing to look at. For example, this one here is an extremely famous mosaic. It has over 1 million pieces of mosaic. If you ever get the chance to come here, I recommend it 100%. It's such a hot spot for history and archaeology. I can only recommend it. But now I'm gonna get some lunch and then hop on the train to Sorrento, because that's my next stop. I made it to Sorrento. I already checked into my hotel and I'm actually gonna stay at the hotel pool for now, just because I already had a pretty exciting day. Besides that, from the pool, this is what you look onto. It's absolutely beautiful, but I'm definitely gonna be exploring the city tomorrow morning. This definitely qualifies as one of the top 3 most beautiful places I've ever had breakfast in. So now that I've eaten, it's time to explore Sorrento, or Sorrento, I don't know which one to go with. The ocean! There. So many cute little streets. This is exactly what you imagine a small Italian town to be like. Success. Now that's what I call a good morning. So I've been walking around for a short while now, and I didn't know how tiny this place was before coming here. Because of its size and the way it's built and set up, it all seems a bit like a tourist attraction. And like a movie said, it doesn't really seem real, and you kind of get the vibe that no one but the workers here are locals, if even. But that definitely also adds to the charm. Another thing I really like here is the selection of the touristy stores. You practically have lemons and the famous Italian tile patterns on everything. And because of its size and the way it's set up, it all seems a bit like a decently priced Dolce & Gabbana outlet. Yeah. So I'm about to finish. Christmas decorations, hell yes. I think I found my favorite store. As it often does, sightseeing quickly turned into shopping with me, but as always, it was more than necessary. I'm now officially on my way to Amalfi. I have to say this is a very enjoyable moment. Strong wind, but nice view. I managed to get to Amalfi and I also changed into some fresh clothing because I was drenched in sweat by the time I got here. Before dinner, I do want to get my feet into the water though, so let's check out one of the beaches. I'm gonna choose this one. Stone sand. Hot. Never mind, very nice. This was definitely worth it. Wow, look at how beautiful the water is. And then with this view. Well, I hope this wasn't too anticlimactic, but that was basically it with that. I would say it's time for dinner. Luckily, I've made it to Positano. I almost didn't get off the ferry because I wasn't aware that there's more than one stop. Very charming city so far, definitely bigger than Amalfi, but quite similar. Yay. I have no idea where I'm walking, but I'm walking. Now that's a nice spot. Sponsored by Yankee Candle. I have to say I knew that the Amalfi Coast is a very popular spot for yachts, but I didn't know how many boats actually stopped here. Yeah, once again, I'm just not gonna comment on it at this point. All I can say is I'm having a good time. I found a place to relax. Right underneath a palm tree by the dome. I've been walking around for a while now and I feel like apart from the dome there's not much more that you have to necessarily see. I feel like one of the most important parts here is that you take in the atmosphere and the place itself, and I definitely had a chance to do that. So I would say it's time to take the boat back to Amalfi. It's a beautiful morning here in Amalfi today and I'm about to head up to the cemetery because it's the place you apparently have the best view from. You gotta access that cemetery through an elevator, and that elevator is by the tunnel that leads to Atrani through a mountain. I'm also gonna check out Atrani, which is the town next to Amalfi, so we have a packed day in front of us. This is the entrance to the tunnel. Now this is exciting. I don't know if this way is to the elevator. Excuse me? Not good. So I did find an elevator, but it looks shady to an extent that concerns me. Countdown. I hope this doesn't open up to some mafia hotspot. Never mind. It opened up to what really is the most beautiful view in Amalfi. Considering that this is a cemetery, I don't know how appropriate strolling around really is. So I'm just gonna take a quick lap and then take the elevator back down. And I've already successfully arrived in Atrani. Beautiful. Very small and charming center. It's time to head back. My journey continues. I've got my bags packed here and I'm off to Capri for the next couple of days. Left a stain. Lovely. First impression of Capri, absolutely beautiful. Reminds me a bit of vineyards and small hiking paths. I've been rolling my suitcase over stairs for what feels like eternity. Is there an elevator for this? I'm having a very hard time believing that all the shallow trophy wives go through this. My hotel informed me that there is a transportation service from the harbor to the center, so I had my extra special little Capri experience there. I booked a day tour of the island, so let's go explore. So the first stop of the tour is Anna Capri. I have about 2 hours to explore this place, so I'm excited. I'm about to go look at a quite famous terrace with an apparently amazing view. 300 meters up, this terrace is beautiful. You have a great view from here. Very nice. And then I'm gonna go and taste some limoncello. Just an FYI, alcohol is legal from the age of 18 in the majority of countries in Europe, so I'm not capturing a criminal act on camera here.
This is the original.
So next up I'm gonna go on the famous chairlift. Another very enjoyable moment. So I'm now on top of the mountain and this literally looks a bit like heaven. Aw, look what's this. Come solo. The second part of the tour was a boat trip. Once we got on the boat, the tour guide showed us a bunch of rock formations. The color of the water was absolutely beautiful, and I even got a chance to jump in the water for a second, which was more than necessary at that point considering how hot it was. But overall, a very enjoyable day, and now I'm gonna head to my room for a bit and then grab some dinner. It's partially cloudy today, but that's all right for what I had planned. My hotel is in the center, so I've had a couple of walks in there before, but I haven't really had the chance to walk into a couple of stores or galleries before. So that's what we're gonna do today. No clue where the sun is coming from, but we're on our way. Now that's concerning. I know I said Venice was a maze. This is a maze. So I decided to get lunch from this place that always seemed to have a line in front of it. I went with some savory cake. At first I didn't even know what I was getting myself into. When I then tried it, it seemed a bit like a carbonara cake. Then I also had a little lemon cake, and that was a very good experience as well. I had to buy something. I'm having a good time. People are so friendly here. I'm at a store and they're getting out a couple of things from the back and it's taking them longer than expected, so they offered me to wait at their private terrace, which is like for the workers only. And I'm being serviced for free. This is extremely sweet and a beautiful experience. I mean, look at the view I have from this terrace. Okay, little update. I think it's time to go back to the hotel and lock the door. It's a new day, it's time to head back home, which means my solo trip is coming to an end. In the morning, I luckily had enough time to figure out the whole transportation situation from the center to the marina, so I didn't have any trouble getting onto my boat. So if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed coming with me on my trip. I can only encourage you to go on a solo trip as well. You really learn a lot, you meet a lot of fun people, you can do as you please whenever you want to, you have a lot of peace, and you can do everything at your own pace. So I hope you guys enjoyed and take care. Bye.